Hi there, I'm Yaakov Werdy, workshop author and presenter. I designed the Appeon in 24 Hours workshop for professional PowerBuilder developers looking for the fastest, most efficient way to ramp up for mobile development. The detail-oriented, no-bull approach I took in the presentations and in the in-depth hands-on labs will take you all the way from concept to deployment while illustrating tools, APIs, coding techniques, tips and tricks, and lots more. I can say with a high degree of confidence that after participating in this workshop, you'll save lots of time and effort in producing a quality app on your first project as compared to taking the long, hard road of doing it on your own. Let me start by saying that this totally up-to-date workshop is based on the latest and greatest Appeon 2014 2.0 GA release. The contents and presentations address both Android and iOS devices, and I tested the labs on both platforms. The workshop has 6 major objectives. The first is to productively use PowerBuilder and Appeon tools to code, analyze, debug, deploy, and test mobile applications. You'll jump out of the gate with a quick start, during which you'll get comfortable with the tools and basic develop deploy methodology. In the warm-up lab 1, you'll deploy an open-source PowerBuilder client-server application and run it in the desktop Appeon device emulator. From there, you'll delve into Appeon Workspace, poking into every nook and cranny of the standard on-device app host. You'll do a warm-up lab in which you'll install Appeon Workspace on your devices, and then you'll install the sample app that you just deployed into it and run it. After that, you'll embark on your first major lab. That's what I call the Appeon Workshop Explorer, an in-depth use case that illustrates what I think are best practice coding techniques. In this lab, you'll code your app framework and deploy and test it on your devices. Incidentally, I provided completed solutions for each coding lab just in case you get stuck or you'd like to see how I did it. Since I expect that many IT organizations will want to migrate existing code for use in their web or mobile apps, I'll take you through some of the many ins and outs of migration. When you're done with this module, you'll be able to identify many of the issues that can get in the way of a successful migration and be able to examine an application and size up the effort to get it migrated. You'll master the tools and learn many of the tricks of the trade. In a final warm-up lab, you'll run Appeon tools that expose migration issues in the code for an open-source PowerBuilder application. You'll identify the issues, size up the effort, and propose ways to fix them. With solid deployment and migration experience under your belt, you'll move on to a crucial area of mobile development, UI design and coding. You'll explore the nuances of mobile UI design for both tablets and smartphones, and learn about using Appeon tools within the PowerBuilder IDE to code your UI. You'll put it all into practice in a major lab, during which you'll lay out and implement the UI for a smartphone application. Next, you'll explore Appeon's mobile device APIs. In this section, you'll master integrating device services such as scanners, cameras, geolocations, maps, phones, email, and more into your app. At key points, I'll stop the presentation and I'll guide you to do a related triad exercise in which you'll implement the API that you just heard about. Data entry and display are a crucial part of every enterprise mobile app. In the next module, you'll learn how to implement Appeon server features that support maximum performance and flexibility. You'll also learn best practice data window techniques that support performance and usability. In a major lab, you'll add data query features to your app. No app is done until it's deployed to the end user. In this last unit, you'll learn how to use Appeon tools to compile your app and deploy it to your users. In the lab, you'll package your finished lab app for Android device deployment. Okay guys, that's the complete menu. Honestly, while there's no rocket science here, I can almost guarantee that after taking this course, you'll save yourself lots of time and effort while producing a quality product on your first project, much more than if you went it on your own. As a grand finale, here's a demo of the completed lab app on both Android and iOS devices. Alrighty, here's the demo of the app that you're going to build in the workshop. Now what you see on the screen is my iPhone, and I'm going to open up the Appeon Mobile workspace, and there it is. And now on the left hand side here you can see the Device Explorer. That's our app. Let's load the app. Here's the splash screen connecting to the database. loading the data stores. Great. There's our UI. Now, unless you have any questions about the simplicity of this UI, let me show you what I modeled it after. I'm going to open up an app called esurance from one of the largest insurance carriers in the United States, Allstate. Here comes the app. Splash screen. My app looks very similar to their app. There it is. Now, there's all types of really neat techniques that are at play over here, like data windows and custom visual user objects. I'll drive into some of the features in our little application. And the main menu has 3 items. Explore the APIs. And here we are, and there's this cute little menu system that I devised across the bottom that's finger-driven, as opposed to using PowerBuilder or MDI kind of menus that are ugly. And so we could now, for example, scan a barcode, take a picture, use our location services, post a notification, open up our map, or even send an email. So, hey, let's just send an email. So I'll just demonstrate that feature. And there's a whole framework that's at play over here that you're going to build in the classroom. Ah, great. I'm going to send an email, and I'll just go ahead and do that right now. Off she goes. And I'm not going to demonstrate all the features, but you're getting the idea here. Now I'll go back, touch that back button, back to our main menu. Now comes that the data-centric part of all this. Here's a data window with drop-down data windows in it that were all loaded out of data stores when the app initialized. And you search actually the newsgroup database, pick your favorite author, put in some keywords here, which I'll do now. Let's just say, for example, I'll put over here the XAML, and I've actually got a database with a text index on it. And we're going to search that database and get a list of messages that include this text. And there they are. And now I can just drill down into select a message, and I can drill down into the message, which I'll do by touching right there. And there's the message. And I could do all kinds of research here, search the database, and fun little tool. Anyway, we'll go back now. And while we're at it, Heather, we like to know what's going on inside our device. Well, we built this little monitoring tool, which will tell us what our platform is, how much memory we're using, the characteristics of our device. This is good to let us know what's going on inside as we're building our application. I'll close this up. Let's go back to our main menu. And the last thing we're going to explore in the workshop, custom URL mapping. You'll learn how to dial a telephone from or you'll learn how to integrate with Twitter or even Facebook. I think this is a fun project, and you'll enjoy building this in the workshop. Now, here's the same thing on an Android device. Now, mind you, this is a tablet, not a phone, and so the UI was not tuned to a tablet. This is really a phone UI. But with that legal disclaimer out of the way, now open up my Appeon Mobile workspace here on my Android device. And now I'll drill into my Device Explorer. Look at that. Loads right up. And I can do the exact same things. Explore device APIs. Or I might want to scan a barcode, for example. Choose from a list of available barcode types and actually turn on the camera and take a picture. For example, a QR code. Then I can actually switch on over to my camera and take a picture of it. There we go. Looks like we snagged one. And let's just navigate to it. Sure, why not? There we go. Snag the QR code, navigated to it inside my little application. Pretty neat, huh? Let's go back over to PowerBuilder now. And PowerBuilder. Let's go back over to Appeon now. And all right, now we can go back and we can see all this good stuff works. Okay, we can search the news groups, etc., and so forth. And again, I apologize for the UI. This wasn't tuned up and adjusted correctly. We're just showing the capabilities of the device and showing that we can do everything on an Android device that we can do on an iOS device. Alrighty, well, that's a little bit of an overview of what you'll be doing in the workshop lab exercises, and I really look forward to seeing you there. Long live PowerBuilder and Appeon for PowerBuilder. Bye for now.